An hour after our mental health special aired on News Channel 5, one of the people who was highlighted in that special was released from jail. And when I called the DA's office and some of the prosecutors, they told me it was an accident.
And I know that the victim is not happy, and I am sorry that this has taken place.
So here's what happened. Apparently, that morning, they offered him a plea deal. They said 4 years at 30%, which means at the very least, he ends up spending a year in jail. So they offered this to him on the charges of assaulting a correctional officer and violating the order of protection by contacting the victim. So these are two charges that had nothing to do with what he did initially to get in jail in the first place.
Michael, Murfreesboro Police, can we talk to you, please?
Images just coming into our newsroom after a standoff had a Murfreesboro community on edge for several hours this afternoon.
Inside the house, what's happening?
He's destroying everything.
Albany Witherspoon says her now ex-boyfriend destroyed her home armed with her gun. Murfreesboro police used tear gas and rubber bullets during a 3-hour standoff before Thibodeau finally surrendered. He was later charged with aggravated domestic assault, vandalism, and reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. All this from a man that Witherspoon had only dated for 3 weeks.
He stayed in jail, and then they found out that he was mentally incompetent to stand trial for those charges. And so while he's in jail, apparently he assaults a correctional officer, and apparently he contacts the victim. And so the prosecutor said, we're going to get him on something here to keep him locked up instead of just releasing him back into the public because he was mentally incompetent. So they said, we're going to give you a plea deal. 4 years at 30%, you serve at least a year. Well, when the paperwork was signed, it was written as if he is getting probation instead of more jail time.
It's my understanding there was a miscommunication between the assistant district attorney in General Sessions Court and the assistant district attorney in Circuit Court.
It went from one court to another.
In the notes, attorneys wrote time served, which Jones says was misinterpreted as Thibodeau had already done his time instead of applying this time to what he still had to serve.
The judgment form was drafted incorrectly, and the plea that was entered was not the plea that had originally been offered to the defendant.
And so when I called the DA, he didn't even know that that's exactly what happened. He had to go check with his ADAs, his assistant district attorneys, and they told him, yeah, something happened. It's been a mess trying to figure out what to do next, because at this point, the victim, Albany Witherspoon, she is beside herself, trying to figure out what to do. She's moved from the home that he destroyed, so technically he doesn't know where she lives. But you imagine just driving up to the gas station in Murfreesboro and you see the guy who destroyed your home, who threatened you with a gun. That would be tough. So when I spoke with the district attorney, Jennings Jones, I asked him, is this a dangerous man? Is this a guy that should be out right now?
If he has not remained on that medication, if he is no longer competent, then it is possible that he could be dangerous.
I'm learning in this process, because I figured if you make a mistake, you let the judge know we made a mistake, this person shouldn't be out, and then they dot some I's, cross some T's, and this person goes back to jail. According to the district attorney, that's not how this works. Right now, Michael Thibodeau is a free man, and it just highlights the issue, once again, with the revolving door that we've been talking about. Because had Michael Thibodeau not allegedly assaulted this correctional officer or, violated the contact order, he would have been out anyway because he was found mentally incompetent. Clearly, we know what he's capable of if he's not getting treatment. We've seen it. That's the concern for people like the victim. Right now, people don't know that this guy's walking around. We're not going to stop reporting these stories. The district attorney says he knows that this is a problem.
Jail does not bring someone from incompetency to competency other than a continued course of medication. It is the single biggest problem that the criminal justice system has.
You have prosecutors, defense attorneys, everyone in between in the process saying, this is a problem. How do we fix it? I think we've been saying how to fix it. It's just a matter of whether or not we take it seriously. If you had an opportunity to speak to her right now, what would you say?
I would tell her that I apologize and my office apologizes for the fact that this plea did not go as we had discussed with her. And I would tell her that I am going to do everything within my power to make sure that this does not happen again.